quite a good match we have to look forward to tonight.
Well, HighSpirits, as a 6th seed, he is a little bit of a sleeper in that regard, but Janus certainly no slouch either, and we're going to go ahead and get right into things, and we'll explain as we go along. As the king giving the instructions, we are underway, and we're going to see what the first 3 chests are in the throne room. Looks like we've got some big bucks to get things started, some bigger bucks, and the obligatory magic key. So now we're going to see if there are any spells, and it doesn't look as though there are. So they're going to exit the room, come back in to save their game, and try to hang on to that gold. And, oh, we've got swamp around the castle. Good to know.
Looks like we might be getting quite a fun opening. HighSpirits known for the big swamp seeds, so this might be right up his alley to get things started here.
Just on the outside. But we do see a cave just southwest of the castle, and we see that Demon Knights have hurt, and Rogue Scorpions have hurt more.
And that's going to be really unfortunate if Rogue Scorpions happen to be the quote-unquote wet noodle that we usually look for here. An enemy capped off at 5 maximum HP and a maximum of 5 strength as well, so usually won't physically attack the runners for too much, but can happen to have Fire Breath, Dragon Lord Breath, or hurt more, as we just saw from the Rogue Scorpion. Janus was able to punch it for 2, which means it's got really low defense, so very unfortunate if that is their target monster, and then we find out that it does actually carry hurt more.
Well, HighSpirits finding a cave, but deep in the swamp, not having enough hit points to be able to get to it as he gets taken out by a Spectre. Now, the object of Dragon Warrior, it's for our racers to find and defeat the evil Dragon Lord. To get to him, they'll be searching caves and towns for 3 items, the Stones of Sunlight, Erdrick's Token, and the Silver Harp, and that harp will be traded in for the Staff of Rain. All those items will be exchanged for the Rainbow Drop, which will allow the runners to enter Charlotte Castle, home of the Dragon Lord. They'll also be fighting enemies one at a time to gain experience and levels to get stronger, as well as gold to purchase weapons, armor, and items to help in their quest. Now, as Up to NG noting in chat that, yeah, what they're looking for now with all that gold is a town to be able to buy some weapons and armor to help them out. Now, you might be wondering what's randomized here in Dragon Warrior Randomizer. Well, the map, as you can see, is all over the place. The treasure chest and search spot contents are shaken up, as are the town and cave locations, the weapon and armor shop contents, the order of spells learned, although both of our racers are guaranteed to learn all 10 spells by level 16, the enemy locations, as you can see, a Wyvern, kind of a closer to upper mid-level to end game enemy, right pretty much outside the castle, as well as the enemy spells and abilities. So you could see a slime casting hurt more, for example. And then the added twists here for the Chaos Edition, well, also randomized are the weapon and armor prices, as well as the enemy statistics, their strength, their agility, their hit points, their experience, and their gold, as well as the amount of experience needed to go from one level to the next. Plus, once we get later in the game to where the Dragon Lord is, well, the Dragon Lord has a few fun surprises as well.
And we do have Janus getting over to that cave that was in the swamp HighSpirits spotted. That is the mountain cave, or possibly tablet.
Well, either Janus is really lucky in terms of not getting encounters, or it is in fact the tablet cave, as the tablet cave has no enemy encounters, but at the end of the trail, there is one treasure chest that is searchable.
Yeah, it does look like it's tablet. I would be very surprised if you managed this long of a run through mountain without one encounter. HighSpirits did find a town. Looks like he's going to be persevering to try to get over there with that 1,200 gold that they started with.
But it's a matter of going through some swamp, which every swamp tile you step in, it takes away 2 of your hit points, And early on, well, they don't really have a lot of hit points, so that makes it a bit of a challenge. HighSpirits going to swat at a werewolf. But is ultimately going to get taken out. He's going to hit the reset button. Janus, meanwhile, still navigating the tablet cave in the dark. Very impressive. Normally, you can use a torch to get one light block around your perimeter, or if you have the spell of Radiant, you can cast it and it's a 3-block radius. I'm not sure if Janus is a bit hung up as he's making his way through, perhaps trying to bonk his way around. And that's the challenge if you get away. Oh, no, here he is. He finds the wings. Not necessarily. Oh, he just ends up resetting.
Yep, not surprising to see a reset there. He's not going to be able to survive his way out of the cave anyways, since he lost most of his HP getting to it through the swamp. And something like wings not going to be worth actually carrying out with you.
So now JanusZeal going to walk around the castle and is going to try to see if he can take out an enemy, although the Demon Knight with Hurt, that is a little bit startling.
Yep, the closest we've seen stat-wise might be the Rogue Scorpion, but it does unfortunately pack Hurt more. Also, we've only seen, I think, maybe 2 or 3 encounters around the castle, so there are 5 encounters per zone. The Wet Noodle can be either in the zone with the castle or directly to the north, south, east, or west. Each zone has 5 encounter slots at roughly a 20% chance for each, and you can have the same enemy in multiple slots of a zone.
So yeah, the challenge for both of our racers is finding that enemy to take out. And to answer a question in chat, the wings are the equivalent of the return spell. And what it will do is if you use the wings, no matter where you are in the overworld, it'll take you back to Tantagel Castle. Ooh, and HighSpirits immediately resetting after seeing that the Poltergeist has the sleep spell.
Yep, and these werewolves more than likely not our target either. Hitting for 3 to 5. That should be a little high. I noticed that both runners have 9 strength and 10 agility at level 1. So getting hit that hard doesn't quite seem like the Wet Noodle.
So HighSpirits now going to venture into the cave to the southwest. And Janus is going to get back attacked by a wyvern and immediately taken out. And while we have a moment here, I want to give credit to our restreamer OPT Lawyer, who also is bringing the pun game tonight.
And right now, this seed seems to have swamp in every relevant direction. No healing, no herbs available to the runners yet, so quite a difficult start. I think we might see the runners either... We know HighSpirits is trying to push for that town, but I think Janus is going to be looking for the Wet Noodle at this point.
Well, HighSpirits was looking for the town, but now he seems to be focused on that cave.
Which we're pretty sure is the grave of Garanham. So it looks like he's trying to get his way up to the 3 chests up at the top.
Ooh, and defend the Knights with the that mini Dragon Breath? It's a fire breath attack that does, give or take, around 20 hit points of damage, as opposed to what we refer to as the Dragon Lord Breath, which is anywhere between 64 and 72 hit points of damage. And Janus making a break to the south and attempts to run away from a Wraith Knight who casts Sleep. Hits for 3 and is unable to get away.
So, Wraith Knight only hitting for 3 does mean that could potentially be the noodle that we're looking for, but Sleep, definitely not one of the things you want to see land on that monster.
Ooh, and the green dragon with Dragon Breath. Not Dragon Lord Breath, but breath nonetheless. Janus heading into the cave. Doing a good job of navigating so far.
And so far, good encounter luck here as well. Looks like we might be seeing our first 3 chests get checked outside of the throne room.
Oh, we've got one here. And it's going to be the Stones of Sunlight. That's one of the essentials. And the Death Necklace. And some big bucks. Plenty of money early on the early going here. Ooh, as an Axe Knight has hurt more. So Janus getting, as you had noted, a lot of encounter fortune here. Which runs out thanks to a knight.
But did manage to get in there, get the Stones of Sunlight and the Death Necklace.
And to answer OPT Lawyer's question, no. The 2 items that were required will not help him kill anything. However, the Stones of Sunlight is one of the needed items to advance in the game, and the Death Necklace, you can, as Amazing Ampharos noting in chat, you can sell the Death Necklace if you need the cash, or it can be held onto for later in the game, as once you don it, it is a cursed item, which means if you die and go back to the castle, you get kicked out and aren't allowed back in. Ooh, as Armored Knights have Dragon Lord Breath. But along with equipping it, a special here for Dragon Warrior Randomizer is that the Death Necklace will give you an additional 10 strength, but at the cost of 25% of your max hit points. And the Dragon Lord does have the Dragon Lord Breath, it's just other enemies also can have it.
And what we could see come into play much later on now is that Janus did manage to get those 3 items out of the grave, might be a little bit hesitant to go back, unlock the door, and get down to those bottom 2. So if something proves to be there later on, that could end up bad for Janus. And interesting to see Janus head back over towards Tablet. Oh, okay. Going to check to see if there's anything else past the cave on this little swamp island.
Yep, Tablet Swamp Island. A lot of encounters with werewolves. Ooh, and the Demon Knight. Not exactly a fruitful enemy. And the Rogue Scorpion gets hit for 1, but immediately casts Hurt More. Smashy, so far no crits have been hit thus far, so we're not too terribly certain what enemy is that easy to kill enemy.
Yeah, it does seem like RCT pointing out that there was a Magic Wyvern that only hit HighSpirits for 1. So could possibly be the target that we are indeed looking for, but not really seeing HighSpirits go back to where he encountered the Magic Wyvern, so...
An AA noting in chat that Janus almost made it to the town that we haven't been able to see which one it is. At least I don't believe so. Although I think there was some mention in chat of Hawk's Nest. I'm not sure if that was just wishful thinking on their part. Sadists that they are. And almost stereo resets. Now, HighSpirits taking a route to the north, and Janus going to continue.
And we have
Southwest.
Janus finding...
Magic Wyvern, a critical hit.
That's
and he
it!
takes out the Magic Wyvern, 102 and 53. And that vaults him up to level 3.
Yep, so Magic Wyvern is indeed the noodle that we are looking for.
Oh, but it gives him the spell of hurt, but at least he's got that knowledge. Hopefully he doesn't... Okay, good. He doesn't hit the reset button here.
And getting hurt there is really important, because if he runs into any additional ones, hurt should guarantee a takedown. Unless that there is a resist roll that comes in from the Magic Wyvern.
So we saw with that 6 points of damage, it looks as though the easy to kill enemy is none other than the Magic Wyvern. So that's the one that HighSpirits is going to be looking for.
And did run into earlier and only got smacked for 1, so if he caught on to that, should know that he can go for that Magic Wyvern, as we see Janus take out a Golem for 240.
And just like that, gets up to level 4, and Janus is realizing, all right, I need more of those Golem. And he gets hurt more at level 4.
Yeah, so this seed is wide open for Janus now.
And just like that, another level with 25 hit points gained on it. Oh, he doubled up to 6 on that. So Janus seeming to hit the jackpot in the early going here, about 17 minutes in, and already has jumped from level 1 to level 6 within the last 2 minutes.
Yep, and it does actually look like Magic Wyverns have some level of hurt resistance. So, gonna have to keep smacking away at these guys, most likely.
And Janus has that knowledge that the golems give almost max experience. The maximum 255, they give 243. And now with hurt more, as long as it can hit, It gives ample opportunity, and the Magidrake running away from Janus. Meanwhile, HighSpirits dealing with a Magidrake of his own. Trying to outlast one more swipe. Not able to do it, and he has to reset again.
And very smart by Janus here, going back to the castle to get MP back, as that last level up to 6 did come with 23 HP, I think, maybe 25, and 16 MP more importantly. That's what we're going to be looking for here, because Hurt More is the spell of the seed.
It definitely busts things open, as it's a pretty long trek, it looks like, already, just for either of our runners to get to a town. So utilizing Hurt More and being able to create some semblance of survival is the way to go. Ooh, and 217 and 36 on the Demon Knight.
And what is a little unfortunate here is that Janus did not get far enough south to find that town, but might indeed get down to it this time.
Well, now a Druid Lord that also has Hurt More. And Sleep. Oof. And we see that it's another 186 for Janus to get to level 7, so that'll be 1093 is the target number.
Not too bad for early levels here. And 1 through 5 came pretty quickly, brought a lot of important finds. Heal more, hurt more, and a nice growth to both HP and MP.
Hurt More not being the greatest of effectiveness, and now Janus going to try a hurt that hits, but not enough to take out the werewolf. That he finally does for 43 and 50. Oh, now the werewolf runs away. And we'll see about the Rogue Scorpion for Janus.
Another quite sizable EXP monster. And does look like we're going to see another seed where the grind spot might just be right around Tantagel.
Yeah, with the Golems and Demon Knights both giving over 200 experience apiece. This does look to be very advantageous in the early going for Janus, but given HighSpirits' experience and knowledge of the game, it's just a matter of getting that first kill. And he realizes that it's not going to be at the hands of the Armored Knight. Oh, meanwhile, Janus finding out that the Knights have Sleep, as well as that mini breath, and also hits for about 20 hit points as well.
More importantly, though, sees that town on the other side of the location he's at. So even if he does wipe here, we'll know exactly where to go to get to his first town.
HighSpirits, meanwhile, taking solace in a cave for the moment. One hit point. And the town is Garenham. So we're going to get our first look at weapons and armor at the shops. And we have, the magic armor for 4 gold. Normally 7,700 gold in the vanilla version of the game. That is the second best armor in the game. Giving 24 added defense.
And we also see Silver Shield in the shop for 6,000 gold. If there is an easy gold grind available, we might see Janus come back for that later.
As HighSpirits finding the wings and also resetting and not bothering to go back to the tablet cave. And Smashy is he's looking for it in chat. It's I guess quickly become a thing here. Looks as though pretty early on here that magic armor is going to be the Jim Perry sale of the century for this seed. There you go. You wanted it, you got it. Meanwhile, HighSpirits now encountering a metal slime, trying to run away and not able to do so. And the Wyvern's packing a punch on Janus's side. But able to take out a Wyvern for 107 and 178. And HighSpirits resetting again after catching fire from the Knight. These Spectres are rather buggerish. Ooh,
yeah, and I don't.
More and then some.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see Janus dealing with the Spectres too much more often. 2 hurt more is not really. Oh, and definitely not worth the time for only 7 EXP.
Giving a decent amount of gold, but 7 experience, you generally want to tend to leave those alone. HighSpirits now working on the red slime. And opting to reset. And another golem. And another 243 for Janus. And I believe that's going to get him to level 8.
Actually, level 9.
Oh, level 9. Well, double level action there.
Yeah, a lot of the times, whenever you see just about double-digit stat gains across the board, probably expecting it to be a double level up. Not too often that you actually see that big of a stat growth on a single level.
True, but it does happen on some occasions. And now a Drakey that has Dragon Lord Breath.
Janus appropriately noping directly out of that fight. Not something that might be worth the time right now until you get that Erdrick's armor to take 1/3 less damage from the fire breath.
And Janus finding a bridge to a lot of swamp.
And Axe Knight's proving to be quite annoying to run from as HighSpirits finally finds that Magiwyvern.
Now it's just a matter of taking it out. We haven't seen any surprises from the Magiwyvern. Now it's just a matter of connecting.
Unfortunately, HighSpirits losing a lot of coin flips here.
Swinging and missing almost as much as my beloved Philadelphia Phillies. And oh, there it is, an excellent move, and he's on the board. 102 experience, and at the 29-minute mark, HighSpirits going to get his first couple of levels.
And that is big, as we know, one more kill, and he finds the golem. Oh, but he runs away from it. That is unfortunate.
Janus jumped from level 1 to level 3 at the 17-minute mark about 12 and a half minutes ago. It's too early.
All right. HighSpirits elected to use his MP on the heal mortar, walk back to the castle instead of having the ability to hurt that golem that he ran into. Hopefully HighSpirits quickly finds one of those golems and takes it down to find out that they are quite the valuable bounty to hunt for.
Because once he does, you know he's going to farm them to get right back into this thing.
He's actually heading straight for that town he found earlier, gets a very nice run to also find Garanham, and he's going to get that Sale of the Century magic armor, and suddenly we are going to be pretty much tied up on equipment here.
And he looks at the 3 shields, realizes that none of them are affordable, no weapons in that particular shop. So just stock up on some herbs, get a dragon scale, and then move on to find more things to hurt. And Axe Knight finding a Janus to hurt more. And he nopes on out of there.
Yeah, Axe Knight's provided to be quite the annoying foe earlier when Janus encountered one, as we saw HighSpirits getting that Magiwyvern.
And Janus finds a cave.
Alright, this one is Mountain Cave since we already found Tablet. The only 2 caves where you will bonk north, west, and south.
Looks like with the torch, he's going to use the torch and find the mountain cave. So there are 5 treasure chests here in the mountain cave. The first one is going to be a cursed belt, as a wyvern sends HighSpirits back to the start. Hurtmore not working out so well on the Gold Man, but the Gold Man having Hurtmore and it working pretty decently on Janus. Well, he hits a. Meanwhile, HighSpirits hitting a hurt on a poltergeist who casts sleep.
And proves the follow-up with no damage to that sleep.
And ends up running away. Oh, the Knight with the Fire sending HighSpirits back to the penalty box, known as Tanagel Castle. Janus, meanwhile, going to check out a couple of more chests. We've got some big bucks and some more big bucks. And 5 money chests in the early going here. 2 in the throne room, 1 at the top of Garen's grave, and now 2 here in the mountain cave.
And that is starting to look like a lot of our key items we're searching for might be buried deep in Garen's grave. The 3 search spots in Cole, the Overworld, and Hawksness look to be pretty promising this seed as well.
As HighSpirits now going to get another level, and he's going to see Hurtmore and be very thrilled for that. Janus, meanwhile, struggling to get away from a metal slime. So he says, fine, I'm going to cast Hurtmore, and it survives it. And another level for HighSpirits.
Yep, HighSpirits has acquired Hurtmore now, so going to be looking to make up that EXP differential in short order here, right next to the castle.
And that's going to get him to level 6.
Yep, and Knights definitely proving to be quite an annoying enemy as well.
All right, Janus finding the fairy water, the 4th of the 5 chests in Mountain Cave. And trying to get away from a red dragon, just looking to not have to go deep into here. And one last treasure chest. He makes it and finds a torch. So the Mountain Cave proven to be a little bit of a zonk this seed. Oh, and just to the northeast, there's another cave. Let's see what this is. It is the
bonus
Stones of Sunlight Cave, jokingly known as the Bonus Cave. And that also has a torch. Great bonus.
Yep, and with that find, we are down to 2 chests left in the bottom of Garen's grave, and the 1 chest in Rimmildar, the 3 in the back of Garenham, and then, of course, the 7 inside Sharlock, but the only required item, and even at that, only semi-required, depending on the player's stats, that could be in there, is Erdrick's sword.
Well, HighSpirits getting into the grave and finding the Stones of Sunlight and the Death Necklace.
And as Amazing Amphorus points out in chat, Rimmildar is looking to be the only source of keys we are going to have for this seed, as it's looking like a large portion of those keys that usually reside in chests might just be buried in Sharlock.
Well, Janus finding Hawk's Nest.
And gonna have to hope here that 1 Hurtmore will do it for whatever is on this tile.
Oh, it's the Drakey. We saw that it had the Dragon Lord breath. 65, not enough. He's going to throw a hurt up there as well. It doesn't have an effect, and 1 attack sends Janus back.
Ah, yes, thank you, RCT. The treasury also at large as well, so that's 4 more chests. I'm so used to treasury being checked by 37 minutes, but we are key starved in this seed, so we will not be able to see that until later.
Yep, so as far as the explorable treasure chests outside of Sharlock, there are 10 left. 4 in the treasury, 3 in Garenham, 2 in the bottom of Garen's grave that haven't yet been found, and the 1 behind the double doors in Rimmildar.
And that 1 is going to be coming completely free once we actually see Rimmildar as well. But no such sighting yet for good old Keytown.
And Janus getting up to level 10 with that last kill. The Stones of Sunlight Cave up to NG had a torch. So HighSpirits, he's going to venture to the southeast and get stopped by a Drakey with Dragon Lord breath.
And it's looking like those Drakeys are a prime candidate for one of the many enemies that we will see later on in Sharlock.
That is entirely possible. Is Janus making a beeline back to Hawk's Nest, looking to see in that search spot potentially one of 4 different occurrences can be in that search spot. It can either have, well, worst possible thing is it could have nothing, or it could have the fairy flute, which is usable to put the golems to sleep, which is just slightly better than nothing. Or it could have the Erdrick's token, one of the essential items in the game, or it could have Erdrick's armor, the best armor in the game, only slightly better than the magic armor that they currently have. The difference being that it has an additional 4 defense and a whole lot of other bonuses as HighSpirits gets up to level 7. Yeah, you take, with Erdrick's armor, you take no damage in swamp or barrier tiles. Plus, you also, well, you have reduced hurt damage and another level for HighSpirits. About 13 seconds after the last one, and just like that, he's already up to level 9.
Yep, and this is what I was a little bit worried about, seeing Janus come back here to Hawksness. You're going to need to land 2 Hurtmores in a row, and we do see the Drakey having some level of hurt resist here. So it's going to be a gamble no matter what at this point.
And almost another 1,000 to get to the next level. For Janus.
Wizards on HighSpirits side also not playing nice with the combo of Sleep and Hurtmore.
Oof, that almost a modified Wombo combo. Druid Lords, I think we saw, also had that same combination.
Indeed.
But Janus just going after those Demon Knights, a very beneficial enemy, and not even bothering with the Armored Knight.
How much EXP was the Rogue Scorpion worth again?
164.
I would like to be seeing Janus take those down, as I believe they went down with just a single Hurtmore, but he's opted to run away from the ones that he's encountered so far.
And HighSpirits finding out the non-fruitfulness of the Spectre.
Followed by quite subpar rewards from a Drakima as well.
And HighSpirits is going to go into the mountain cave.
And there we go. Janus taking the encounters with the Rogue Scorpions now. Any EXP at this stage is good EXP, and when you're getting 160 plus, it's definitely going to be worth your time.
And now he's just about 60 experience away, a little less than, from hitting level 11. As HighSpirits in the mountain cave. And we know from Janus already going through there that there's not going to be anything really that fruitful. And, 0 hit point gain on level 11 for Janus. HighSpirits going to see all that money. And enemies pending, going to get the fairy water and find out that there's a torch at the end of the trail.
Also going to get the news that metal slimes are quite durable this seed.
And Janus going to go save and see how much experience to level 12. And back on the road after finding just 400 to get to level 12, 39.59.
And HighSpirits is going to find his free complimentary torch, courtesy of the bonus cave.
HighSpirits trying to get in on the action as much as possible, as he knew that it took him a little bit longer to get things going, almost a half hour before gaining a level.
Ooh.
And now a couple of towns over here on HighSpirits side.
And this is a direction that Janus hasn't quite gone yet. Janus went a little further south and found Hawksness, but To the east, we find Rimmildar plus another town.
And a flame sword for 5 gold.
I think that might be the new sale
Yeah, I
of the
was gonna say, you
century.
had me play it early, Smashy. 5 gold for the flame sword, normally valued at 9,800. That is the second best weapon in the game. It gives 28 attack power. The only thing stronger is Erdrick's sword, which is going to be found in a chest.
And at this point, high probability that chest might be inside Sharlock. Ooh, and HighSpirits not electing to check the chest inside of Rimmildar.
Well, he realizes that there's another town right next door, so he's going to check and see what that is first. Ooh, wolves are pretty good at 216 and 189.
I think he just realized he forgot to say or heal up at the inn, and hopefully that will also lead him directly back to that chest.
Oh, but he's having trouble getting away from the Wraith Knight. Oh, and it casts Sleep.
Ooh,
Just able to
close
get
call
away.
there.
And Pyrelight, that is a tempting idea, but I don't want to get too drop crazy here in the midst of the match.
And we do see
double
HighSpirit.
fire. Erdrick's sword and Rimmildar.
Oh, that could have been huge had he forgotten to check that.
Well, it makes getting that flame sword for 5 gold not too shabby. You don't feel too regrettable about that. If he had paid a lot more, that would have been a whole different story.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one other item you'd be looking to buy right now, which is the Silver Shield for 6,000. You already have the second best armor. You're looking for Erdrick's already, so nah, even if it was a little bit more gold, probably not going to be too terribly disappointed either.
If anything, it cost more time than it did money.
Indeed. Call me Chalk. Yes, Erdrick's sword was behind the double doors of Rimmildar. And we have Cantlin. I think we might see a coordinate check while we're here.
Very possibly. An OPT lawyer noting in chat to compare to Zelda 1 randomizer, it's almost the equivalent of paying the 250 rupees for a blue ring just to immediately find the red ring.
And Friendly Triangle asking who has the estimated lead. Janus is ahead on EXP by a decent margin, but also got off the ground. And we see Cole here, so if this is Erdrick armor, I'm going to be immediately revising my statement, as it's just the token. So HighSpirits has a exploration advantage, I would say, because he has keys and Erdrick's sword already. But Janus did get off the ground earlier, and as such has an EXP lead. HighSpirits, though, after he got off the ground, tore into that lead pretty quickly, so I would say small advantage to HighSpirits at the moment.
And HighSpirits just tearing through the treasury. I was able to catch 3 of them, the magic key, the silver harp, and some money. I didn't see what was in the middle one. And up to NG, there were no coordinates. Empty middle. Okay, so that means it was more than likely an Earth.
And HighSpirits going to turn in that silver harp we found in the treasury right away for the Staff of Rain, the second of the required 3 items to make the rainbow drop.
So HighSpirits has what Janus needs, and Janus has what HighSpirits needs. Janus has the token, is looking for the silver harp and the Staff of Rain. HighSpirits has the staff and the harp, and is looking for Erdrick's token.
If Janus can find his way over to that little cluster of 2 towns, then it's going to be a nice turnaround in the exploration advantage, where he will now be able to make that rainbow drop.
And Amazing Ampharis noting in chat that really Janus is looking for Rimmeldar at this point, and everything else will fall right into place. As HighSpirits gets to level 10. And is going to stop off at the inn. So now with no coordinates and the token being in Cole, that means that by default the search spot in Hawk's Nest is Erdrick's armor, and it's being guarded by that doggone Drakey. HighSpirits had found the chests in Garenham, and not too much there.
And also finds that the back of Garenham is Swamp South.
Oh, and Janus again falling to the Drakey with Dragon Lord Breath.
OPT asking if there's any reason to save the princess in this seed. The item that you receive from saving the princess does allow you to check how much EXP you need to the next level. So when you are in the grind phase, it allows you to check if you only need 1 or 2 more kills, if you're a little shaky on the stats you just gained, whether you should go for the Dragon Lord yet or not.
HighSpirits having all kinds of trouble with this Axe Knight, and finally opts to run away. And we've got a swamp on the other side of the swamp cave. How appropriate.
And HighSpirits looking for Sharlock on the other side here.
And Janus going up to level 13. So about a 2,300, well now 2,100 experience advantage. But hitting those Demon Knights and Wolves, that's going back and forth pretty quickly here. So HighSpirits spending some time examining the second continent, which looks to be pretty small, all things considered.
And Janus starting to head in the correct direction to find Rimmeldar. Just needs to stay right here rather than going south. Oh! Oh no! The town flashed on screen and he missed it in the top corner.
Just on the edge. So Janus going to do a little bit of exploring to this kind of random peninsula-looking thing off to the southeast.
And here we have HighSpirits coming back over. He's been to the east already. He might take a turn to the south, and if he does, he's going to find Hawksness. AA with a good point in chat. This random peninsula may lead us to Sharlock and Breckenary.
That is a good point. No wonder he's the top seed in this tournament.
Unfortunately, running into one of these wicked wizards that wasted a bunch of time with Sleep and Hurtmore, only to wave goodbye as he bravely runs away.
Ooh, the Wicked Wizard of the East there. And HighSpirits is going to find Hawk's Nest, and now he's going to take his shot with minimal resources if he's even able to get over to the Drakey.
But more importantly, he knows where Hawksness is now.
And a Wraith Knight using Sleep and that baby dragon breath. HighSpirits just now able to wake up with 8 hit points left.
And I believe we found Breckenary.
Yep, it is Breckenary, good old Six Town. All right, even I can't get up for it this time, and I'm usually the one who shows Breckenary love when nobody else does.
Indeed, and no weapons of note here, so unfortunately, the only use here is going to be the Motel 6, where they'll leave the torch on for you.
Yeah, Breckenary noted for having the least expensive inn in the game at only 6 gold. So he's going to stop off there and keep on wandering.
Yep, the only other use for Breckenary is fairy water, but even that almost is never a relevant use.
Magic Drakey's giving 79 and 12. And HighSpirits only another 300 or so experience away from level 11. They've been keeping pace as far as the experience goes.
Yep, the EXP lead for Janus has not grown too terribly much, even with a brief stint earlier right by the castle, grinding up a little bit more in order to try to give that Drakey at Hawksness another go, but even that was once again unsuccessful, as without the armor, you're going to either need a lot of HP to sleep spell or to land 2 Hurtmores in a row. Though we might see a little bit better luck on HighSpirits side with that sword.
The Wyvern gets HighSpirits up to the level 11. And he has found, Janus has found those 2 towns. He's found Cantlin, doesn't even bother with it, and is now going to head on over to Rimmildar as HighSpirits heading back into Hawk's Nest to give one more go with the Drakey.
And Janus officially has keys just before the 1 hour mark. And as we saw earlier on HighSpirits side, these keys for Janus, once he gets back to the treasury, will get the silver harp, and then you will be able to trade that silver harp in right in Tantagel's basement to get the Staff of Rain. Janus does already know where the Jerk Cave is, so he will be able to trade the 3 items in for the Rainbow Drop. And at that point, we'll only be looking for EXP, Sharlock, and enough stats to take down this blasted Drakey who is guarding the armor.
Indeed, and at this point, it's certainly looking good for Janus. We'll put it that way.
Yep, but right now this Drakey is proving to be quite the equalizer, as it's pretty much just a couple coin flips to determine if you can even kill it at this point. Neither runner anywhere close to the 150 HP mark. That actually, you need 160 to reliably take 2 Dragon Lord Fire Breaths and survive to have another turn.
Janus going into Cantlin, getting the news that there are no coordinates.
Indeed, thou must go and fight is the call of the seed. But notable is that Janus did not open the chest at the bottom of Rimmildar. That could be a problem too, because I don't even think he bought the Flame Sword yet either. Oh, well, he's gonna get it here. And we have a Sharlock sighting on HighSpirits side.
Just to the northeast of Cantlin and Rimmildar.
And this is potentially disastrous for Janus. Oh, might have remembered. All right, saving himself from absolute disaster if he had not checked that chest.
So Janus now with the Erdrick Sword. In terms of weapon and armory, both of our runners evenly matched up. They both have Erdrick Sword, they both have the magic armor, and they both are Sans Shield.
Indeed, and the only item differences so far is that Janus found that token in coal, whereas HighSpirits has been back to the castle to pick up his silver harp and then immediately turn it in for the Staff of Rain.
And HighSpirits now going up to level 12, so chipping away that experience lead only about 1,500. And Janus going to give another go in Hawksness.
Unfortunately, might be thinking that this sword's going to do him more good than it's actually going to. And we'll get the bad news as soon as he gets back to the Drakey.
If he gets back to the Drakey. A couple of sleep. Oh, with 7 hit points, he is able to wake up. And is able to get away from the Wraith Knight. Now, what Janus was doing, as Amazing Amphar was noting in chat, I mean, he wanted to get to those coordinates because he was hoping that there were coordinates so he wouldn't have to come back and take on this Drakey. But now that he saw that there were no coordinates, he knows, all right, if I'm going to get Erdrick's armor, it has to be through this Drakey.
And oh boy, 2 failed Hurtmores in a row. This is definitely looking like a fight.
Ooh, sleep not hitting either, and the Dragon Lord breath from the Drakey takes Janus back to Tantagel.
Yep, he needs to be back here anyways to check the treasury and get the last items for the rainbow drop, but yep, we're seeing this Drakey looking like it's just going to be a series of coin flips to ever take it down. I don't know if there's going to be any amount of grinding that's going to do either runner any good for fighting this thing.
So now the silver harp get for Janus. About 15 minutes after HighSpirits got it. And briefly being trolled by a non-playable character. Like they do.
I would honestly like to see either runner maybe set up a gold grind to grab that silver shield. While it won't help against the fire breath, Drakey was only hitting for about 30. Silver's shield will cut that down a little bit further and maybe give them the time, if the Drakey elects to not breathe fire too many times, to actually land the 2 Hurtmores that are going to be required to take it down.
And Janus trying to take the stairs on the treasure box. Absolutely. We've all done it. The keying input errors are real.
Indeed, Dragon Warrior, a game known for getting a little hungry for some tasty, tasty inputs to eat every now and then.
As Janus now going to get to level 15.
And yet again, another quite strong HP level up.
And HighSpirits going after a Droll Magi. It's something we haven't seen. And 85 and 20. It's a meh enemy.
And HighSpirits has found coal. So now the item lead is neutralized. And we are just looking at the EXP lead for Janus, and Janus knowing the location of the Jerk Cave for later.
So HighSpirits now only about 1,300 experience behind Janus. And Janus, I imagine, trying to re-find the Rainbow Drop Cave, better known as the Jerk, but HighSpirits able to find it, and he gets the Rainbow Drop. Now, he has seen Sharlock. I don't believe that Janus has. So this all of a sudden just got a lot more interesting. As if it wasn't already. I believe HighSpirits with this kill of the Drakema is going to go up to level 13. And he does. And OPT Lord, to answer your question in chat, do you really need Erdrick's armor? Is it officially required? No. Will it make your travel through Sharlock a lot easier? Yes. Mainly because of the numerous the barrier tiles just on the first floor alone. If you don't have Erdrick's armor, each step reduces your hit points by 15. So you end up using a lot of your heal mores before you even get into the depths of Sharlock.
And not only that, but even more important, the reducing the Dragon Lord Fire Breath from 63 to 72 down to 42 to 48. Without the armor, it's nigh impossible to actually take down the Dragon Lord, as you just have too much damage to heal through. While Heal More does maybe slightly outperform Dragon Lord Fire Breath, at that point you're looking at very possibly never ever getting to actually attack. So as AA points out in chat, you'd most likely have to get up towards, the mid-20s to even have a shot at executing that fight.
Yeah, roughly level 25, and the maximum it goes to is level 30, and I don't know about you, but I don't think we have that kind of time.
Yeah, unless you get a really friendly EXP distribution like we saw in McGrew versus Zarnax, where in just a mere 20 to 30 minutes and only a few thousand EXP, McGrew had found himself on like level 18 or 20. If that's the kind of EXP distribution you got, maybe you can go to 25 or 30. But anything like this, it's just too much time investment. If your opponent gets the armor and you don't while you're leveling to that degree, you probably don't have a chance. As we see HighSpirits getting through the fight and getting the armor.
He was able to put the Drakey to sleep on 2 different occasions.
AA pointing out that HighSpirits gets lucky. We're not 100% sure that it's luck. It could have actually just been that the one sleep attempt we had seen prior was actually unlucky, and Drakey might only have maybe a 3 out of 16 chance to resist sleep. And so HighSpirits electing to go with the sleep strategy and does actually find that it might have been the proper payoff.
And HighSpirits now grinding in the hills, and I believe he cast Repel as well. The Repel spell here in Dragon Warrior Randomizer Chaos version, it repels based off of the vanilla statistics. So the Golem's one of the tougher enemies to encounter because of how strong it normally is. In this case, that pretty much guarantees that Golems are going to be the only thing that he encounters here. So he'll just be able to one-shot them at this point. And as you can see, in just a matter of seconds, the experience lead has shrunken to a little over 700, whereas prior to that, it was more than double that.
And I think we're going to see Janus take the approach that AA talked about earlier. With enough MP here, might just be able to brute force through the Drakey. Just cautiously keep yourself above that fire breath threshold and swing away at it as long as you have 73 or higher hit points.
And that's what he's looking to do. Meanwhile, HighSpirits hitting Repel again. And is just going back and forth in those hills. Those hills have the highest, those I believe, and the desert have the highest potential encounter rate.
And we have
Janus takes out the Drakey.
Yep, the brute force strategy worked. Just need to keep yourself above 73 HP there. And actually going to go back for more. This might actually not be a bad option for Janus to grind at. Now that you've got the armor, that fire breath only can do 48 damage. So this fight became a lot safer.
Yeah, but in the time that it's taking him to take care of one Drakey that gives you 220 experience, HighSpirits, even with a running Golem, will pretty much be able to take out one on average and hit 243 experience per. So it's a bit of a gamble, and I guess Janus realizing, not the best way to go.
Yeah, it could be that Janus doesn't know the exact mechanics for Repel in the randomizer here, that it would indeed allow you to find a golem spot and just only home in on those golems.
Yeah, all he's been getting so far are golems and Magiwyverns, and Magiwyvern's no slouch either at 102 experience. That's what got us rolling here in the beginning, as Janus now picking up the rainbow drop, approaching 1 hour and 13 minutes in.
And at this
About
point,
a 6-minute differential between the two as far as picking up the rainbow drop.
Indeed, and I do believe Janus has seen Sharlock, so it might just be a race for EXP now, which that's a race that at this clip, HighSpirits is for sure going to win.
Well, he has already taken the experience lead. He has about a 300 experience lead over Janus.
And actually, with this kind of wandering on Janus' side, I don't actually think Janus got a sight of Sharlock when we were over by Cantlin.
Well, now he's wandering over by Breckenary. And stops in for a hotel stop. He most certainly does.
Yep, little low on MP there, so electing to get the extra safety while roaming around looking for Sharlock.
Ooh, and HighSpirits smashing that golem into 105 pieces.
OPT asking, how important is the shield? When shields basically require a gold grind, a lot of times you might see the runners elect to skip out on it, unless they just so happen to die in a location that sets up the gold grind for them. This is kind of interesting. This looks like just Janus might be giving this a go. Did not catch what their attack power is at right now. HP and MP looks pretty good. So, if he can make it all the way down here without too much consequence, this could be big.
He's got a couple of herbs. He's casting Radiant. If nothing else, this may be a just kind of an experimental trek through Sharlock.
Metal Slime is definitely a good enemy to run into here. They proved to not be threatening earlier, just really, really bulky. So, it might just take a little bit of gambling to try to run away, as they do seem to be sleep resistant, but they're not going to cost you a heal more often than not. And they even run away themselves.
And the Scorpions, the first that we've seen of them this seed. And they have heal. .233 and 131.
Yep, they hit for slightly double-digit damage. Oop. And they also have the small breath. And it looks like they're going to take 3 to 4 attacks to kill. So maybe not the worst thing to just kind of punch through them on your way down.
Little does Janus know, it's going to be quite a while to get to level 17, as HighSpirits just that quickly up to a 2100 experience lead.
And this could be huge if level 17 is hiding quite the stat gain, as 17 might just be the trigger for HighSpirits to go.
This is going to put HighSpirits close to the 10,000 experience mark and still no level 17.
And Axe Knights, as we saw earlier, were quite an annoying enemy to deal with. Asking if we're diving for the fighter's ring. I don't really think you dive for just the fighter's ring here. I think Janus came in intending to give this a real go with a pretty generous amount of HP and MP. And if nothing else, maybe just get information more so than looking for the fighter's ring. Though, wouldn't hurt to find that on the way down here as well.
Yeah, we don't know how much it is to level 17, but we do see that it is at least the 10,785 that HighSpirits has, as he's jumped up to a 3,000 experience lead. What a difference the last few minutes have made here.
And I definitely agree with Up to NG in chat. If he gets to the treasury looking for the fighter's ring and finds it, or doesn't find it, you absolutely should be setting up the Silver Shield grind here, as that would be a nice plus 20 defense to pick up for free.
Yeah, as dubious as it is, we are 78 minutes into this seed, almost 79 minutes in, and neither of our runners have a shield yet.
Yep, not too uncommon when you see the small and large shield cost more than the silver, and the silver requiring a gold grind to realistically attain.
Yeah, as you're not going to get a whole lot of gold with these golems that HighSpirits has been smashing up. I mean, they're great for experience, 243, but only 7 gold per.
Indeed. And we also have spotted Wraith Knights. And of course, as we expected, Drakeys, but Wraith Knights also being in Sharlock. And they had the pseudo Wombo combo of Sleep and Baby Breath. pause asking how much the silver shield was again. Just north of 6,000 gold.
As now HighSpirits up well into the 11,000 experience point.
And McGrew noting in chat that the best silver shield grind here is actually just selling Erdrick's sword for 7k and buying the silver shield. And then while you're at it, buying that Sale of the Century flame sword.
Certainly not a bad play, as Janus now on the 5th basement of Sharlock. And little does Janus know how far level 17 is away. As
McGrew,
HighSpirits now over 12,000 experience.
McGrew, can you actually pick up the sword again if you sell it?
Janus not even bothering with the treasury.
Which we kind of actually thought that might be on the list here to try to find that fighter's wing for a couple extra attack power. McGrew saying that yes, the sword respawns, so I'm not sure how many runners actually know that, but yeah, selling Erdrick's sword for 7k to buy the silver shield here is actually just like very much the good option, as that just covers your silver shield right then and there, and you just go pick up the sword again.
Yeah, I was under the impression that the sword and the armor sold for 1 gold each. But if the price is randomized on it, Drew just thinking, yeah, it normally sells for 1 gold, but it's random in chaos. So the armor and coal could be used the same way. So it could sell for 1 gold, it could sell for 7,000 gold. You don't know unless you give it a try. Interesting.
The more you know, as that is something I will for sure be keeping in the back of my mind in future chaos races.
And speaking of future chaos races, we have more tournament action coming your way actually over the course of the next 2 nights. As tomorrow night, we've got the second of our quarterfinal matches. It'll be the 7 seed, the tie-dye guy, against the number 2 seed, the Doctor of the Dragon Lord himself, McGrew, who is there in chat. And then this Thursday night at 10:30 Eastern, it's the 4-5 matchup as Angry Larry battles Ryusation. And HighSpirits up to over 13,000 experience. Still no level 17 yet. And the Wizard is the mini boss for the Dragon Lord, and he runs away.
Well, I don't think Janus can possibly succeed this fight, so this is just for information now.
This is just to see, all right, do I have to plan for a really hard-hitting Dragon Lord 1? Well, he hits it for 38 and he dots it. Okay. And Sukiya, no, Janus did not. He completely bypassed. Oh, there it is. 13,851 is around that number.
Whoa, and huge HP and MP gain. I didn't quite see the attack power there, but we are well within Death Necklace range.
127 on the attack power.
So 137 with the Death Necklace. That's good for 9 to 18 against the Dragon Lord.
And he jumped to 18 on that, as we're being told in chat. So yeah, it was about a 7,000 experience jump from level 16 to 17. And we'll find out exactly how much here. So 13,734, but then it was obviously less than 100 experience to get to, or around 100 experience to get to level 18 from there.
I think I would have liked to see Janus at the start of the Dragon Lord 2 fight there just throw out a stop spell right away just to see if it sticks, because that could be an indication of lower stop spell resist.
A level 18, 13,753, so only 19 experience to get from level 17 to 18. After jumping up over 7,000, or about 7,000 from 16 to 17. And Janus is now going to do that grind.
And unfortunately here, that dive into Sharlock, not gaining very much EXP along the way, gives HighSpirits quite the lead here.
And I think it was just roughly 17 or 18 minutes ago that Janus had a roughly 1,500 to 2,000 experience lead. And now the shoe is on the other foot, in a sense, as HighSpirits now with a huge experience advantage of about 5,000.
And more importantly, the stats that should all but guarantee a Dragon Lord kill if he reaches the bottom floor with any decent amount of this MP intact.
So Janus on the grind, HighSpirits taking out Scorpions, and why not another 233 experience? So it looks like the tail of this seed it came down to the efficient grind spot. As HighSpirits has found it, Janus, he found a good one, but HighSpirits found a better one. Now, we didn't get too deep into Dragon Lord 2, so there may be other things to note, as the Dragon Lord in the vanilla version of the game has 130 hit points, and in the standard Dragon Warrior Randomizer has a range of 150 to 165 hit points. Here in Chaos, the Dragon Lord can have as few as 100 hit points and as many as 230 hit points, and as well as anything in between. And it can cast either the spell of Sleep or Heal. That is determined at random.
And unfortunately, HighSpirits here getting trolled by a Drakey. As we saw earlier, that Drakeys were quite awful. And Janus moving up to that Golem spot, but I don't believe has Repel up.
Well, he's found the Golems, but does not, or at least has not as of yet realized that casting Repel will reduce the likelihood of some of those less than preferred encounters, including the Magidrakies.
Indeed. Might be similar to me. I actually did not realize that Repel was based on vanilla values. I just figured that it was tuned to go off of the randomized values, as I roughly have learned how it works in vanilla, so I expected it to work the same, but knowing that it goes off vanilla values is quite a interesting tidbit to have for future races.
Yeah, in the standard version of the game, as the wizard runs away from HighSpirits, and now it's time to take on the Dragon Lord, if your agility is the same as or higher than your enemy's strength, and you cast Repel or use the Fairy Water, then you won't encounter them on the overworld. And golems in the vanilla version having one of the higher strengths at 120. It's very rare that that's going to occur. And we've got the Dragon Lord, HighSpirits hitting for 17 and another 14. So 8 Healmores left. But still getting some great rolls here. He's up to 48. And now 60. Hits for 16 there, so his range so far has been from 12 to 17 on his hits. Oh, gets a low roll there, a 10. Got 5 Healmores left. And he hits another low roll of 10. He's up to 96. But any potential strike from here can be the final one that can put away the Dragon Lord. He hits for 9. 3 low rolls in a row. He's up to 105. He hits for 15. He's up to 120. Down to 2 Healmores. And another 14. He's at 134. Hits for an 11, he's at 145. Hits for 15, he's at 160. Throws up his last Healmore. He's got a couple more swipes at him. He hits for 11, is at 171. And another 12 at 183, and it's not going to be enough. So HighSpirits going to head back to the castle, is told that he is cursed and to get out because he put on the death necklace.
Oh, he's going to need herbs. Oh, wait, no, right. Erdrick's armor is going to protect him from the swamp. But this is a long walk for Breckenary if that's where he wants to go.
Nah, he can just stay at an inn. He's just not allowed back in Tanagel Castle. The good news is this opens the door for Janus, but he's got a little bit more grinding to go as he's still about another, I believe, a little less than 1,600, about 1,200 experience away from level 17. Now down to about 1,000 away. And there's that Drakey being troublesome for HighSpirits.
And that's extremely dangerous at this point with no MP remaining. But does make it to Rimulder.
And he realizes that he can't buy herbs there, so he's going to go around the bend to hit Cantlin. Runs into a Drakey before doing so, gets away from it. Meanwhile, Janus has crossed the 13,000 experience mark. He's about another 700 away from level 17. And that's the other thing. With the Death Necklace, we don't know what it's going to take to get to level 19 in this case. As HighSpirits wasn't even told what that next level would be. He was just told he was cursed and to essentially get out.
Yep, and neither runner elected to save the princess this seed, so we do not have Gwaelin's love to check that on the fly.
Well, HighSpirits back in Sharlock. We know that the Dragon Lord has at least 184 hit points and could have up to 230.
Yep, pretty much no chance of sleep. I feel like we would have seen it in that fight. Still a off chance of heal, but getting to 183 without seeing heal either means that if it is there, we're talking about a potentially max HP Dragon Lord, or it's just not going to be in the cards tonight.
So here at the hour and 35-minute mark, Janus getting the levels and is up to level 18 about 11 minutes after HighSpirits did. So now Janus possibly saving. No, just going to get the replenishment of MP. Sees the stats, 127 on the attack. So on its own, that would be a damage range of 6 to 13 on Dragon Lord 2. Oh, wow. I don't think 19's coming anytime soon.
What was the EXP for 19? I missed it in a little bit of stuttering.
5,773.
Thankfully, 18 has the stats required to beat the Dragon Lord. Just going to take a little bit of luck getting down there with all your HP, or MP.
Well, and Janus wondering if, well, no, he's... Thought he was going to bother with, well, I guess he's going to replenish kind of in a ghetto grind type sense. Reopening the treasury, finding an herb, and some cash, and replenishing his magic key. Oh, not even bothering to herb grind. Okay.
Yep, this is a slow gold grind for the shield. You're getting that free key back and plus big bucks every time, so this will take a little bit, but if that silver shield ends up being the big difference in actually getting to the Dragon Lord and getting through the fight successfully, this could pay off for Janus.
And you almost have to wonder, though, had Janus gone into the Sharlock Treasury and opened those 6 chests, could he have already started that gold grind before even grinding up to level 18? HighSpirits, meanwhile, is down in the 7th basement of Sharlock.
Yep, so HighSpirits has made it down here this time with a lot more MP than last time. Didn't get trolled by a Drakey, so well, this grind from Janus theoretically could pay off. Unfortunately, without some unfortunate Drakey luck for HighSpirits, I don't think it's going to actually come into play at the end.
Well, we'll see. It may take another trip up by HighSpirits here on the lower level. Having a little trouble getting away from the Axe Knight. 3rd time's a charm, though, as Janus continues the slight grind here.
Looks like 2 more iterations. 1 more now with this one coming to a close before he's going to be able to buy that shield. Unfortunately, significantly slower.
Yeah, it looks like it's a matter of which way would you have necessarily gone on it. As AA notes in chat, if HighSpirits wins on this dive, Janus had already lost when he began. If HighSpirits loses, Janus will be ahead on the next dive. So it pretty much all comes down to what HighSpirits does on this particular dive against the Dragon Lord.
getting there with 12 heal mores this time should be able to take this down.
So he's going to speak with the Dragon Lord, get offered half the world, decline, be called a fool. And here we go with the Paper Tiger battle with Dragon Lord 1. One shot. Off he goes. And a back attack from the Dragon Lord. And let's see how we do here. So a low roll to start off with of 10.
And for anybody who did not catch the first fight, we know that there's a minimum of 184 health on this Dragon Lord 2.
Ooh, 2 low rolls to start. Now getting an 18 up to 38. On another low roll of 9.
And Janus there hitting the jackpot with the exact Xyz gold for that silver shield.
Up to 58.
And yeah, that sneak attack by Dragon Lord 2 starting this fight off on a bad clip and giving HighSpirits a little bit of backwards momentum, having to go back to that heal more a little bit more rapidly than he wants to.
So far at 101. Having to use the heal mores a lot more frequently than he'd hoped, and also getting some low rolls along the way. He's up to 112.
So 112 damage with 2/3 of the heal mores gone.
And another 10. 16, this gets up to 138. Another heal more for HighSpirits. Oh, and another low roll of 9. Up to 163 now. $173. Down to his last heal more. Hits him for 13. Is it 186? Will this last attack do it? No, it does not. He hits for 11, 197, and HighSpirits falls to Dragon Lord 2 again, this time hitting 197, so we know that it's definitely in the upper echelon, somewhere between 198 and 230 hit points.
Oh no, and are we gonna see HighSpirits start grinding for level 19? As that is a huge mistake. But he does not know how much EXP is required for level 19 since he is cursed and not allowed back in the castle.
Now, of the 16 attacks that HighSpirits had on the Dragon Lord, 10 of them were for 9, 10, or 11. So they were all on the lower end of the roll. So JanusZeal picking up the silver shield that is going to add 20 defense.
And
but the
we are
Breaking
seeing
fire
Janus.
being problematic.
Yep, that Drakey again costing Janus a lot of MP here.
Well, the silver shield could make the difference. It's just a matter of those the silver shield doesn't really do anything when it comes to the Dragon Lord breath.
And I've got to agree with Epic Finger Paint. I don't think Janus is going to have enough MP to make it through the fight. Not with what we've already seen from Dragon Lord 2. And we might indeed see HighSpirits' option to grind for 19, even if it is quite far away. This could pay off, as he's gotten a good 2,000 into the almost 6,000 required.
And that looks to be what HighSpirits is doing, going back to that efficient grind spot, trying to get up to level 19, which we know is 19,664 is the target number. And Les Honor noting in chat that there's 2 tidbits of information, one that each player does not know. Janus is not aware of how beefy the Dragon Lord is in terms of having at least 198 hit points, and HighSpirits has no idea how far it is to get to level 19. He was not made privy of that.
I am curious as to if this is HighSpirits going to get his MP refilled so that he can actually continue the very efficient gold or EXP grind that does require repel in that slight little zone where he was farming.
Or maybe HighSpirits, I mean, for all he knows, it's another 10,000 to get to level 19. So maybe he just said, all right, I decided to grind about another 2,000 or so. I'm up to 16,811. It's not quite enough. All right, I'm not going to bother with it.
ETAP, the Silver Shield was 5967 or something around that. The issue with HighSpirits grinding for the Silver Shield is more a matter of where he'll be able to even execute the grind with him not being allowed back into the castle.
And that pretty much negates it. That takes out any potential option. As the back of Garenham is the swamp cave that just leads to the outside.
The small and large shield are both more expensive than the silver shield, Sukiya, so we won't be seeing any other shields that aren't silver this run.
And it looks like HighSpirits has replenished his resources and is going to give it another run.
So HighSpirits knows that he needs at least 198 damage for this fight. I will be curious to see if he gets down there and feels like the fight is going south sooner rather than later, if he elects to just wipe it up and keep maybe 40 or so MP and then hit up that grind again with, 20 or so repels.
Well, Janus finding out after going back to the castle. Yeah, another 4,000 and change. Thanks to the death. And ETAP, it wasn't so much that HighSpirits didn't commit on 19. HighSpirits doesn't know how much it takes to get to 19 because thanks to the curse of the death necklace, he wasn't informed by the king how much it takes to get to that next level. So he decided, all right, I'm going to grind. I mean, maybe he just picked an arbitrary amount and said, all right, once I get to 2,000 more experience than I have, if I haven't hit the level, then forget it. I'm going to move on. I'm going to go into Charlock and give it another dive. So Janus has that information that he knows that it's 19,664 to level 19, and that HighSpirits is about 2,400 experience away from that. But with him being midway through Charlock, he's not going to necessarily hit it here. It may only be an issue if he falls to the Dragon Lord this run and maybe considers going for it once again. And To answer the question in chat for Epic Finger Paint, the Death Necklace in the vanilla version of the game, it is merely a cursed item that does more harm than good. It has been reprogrammed for Dragon Warrior Randomizer to add an additional 10 attack power to your total, but at the cost of 25% of your maximum hit points.
Yeah, and I would really like to see HighSpirits elect to just wipe the Dragon Lord if the fight does go poorly and get back to that grind with the ability to cast Repel. As that, I think, is the major reason why he decided to leave the grind as early as he did. He only had one Repel. After it wore off, the EXP wasn't quite as efficient. So with maybe 40 MP or so, might choose to go back there. Also, as AA points out, we do know that the Fighter's Wing is in Sharlock. We haven't seen either player pick it up. A little bit of damage could go a long way, as these Dragon Lord 2 fights have been dragging on for quite a while every time.
I was going to say, or do we know that it's in Sharlock? Remember, the 2 chests deep in Garen's grave were not opened.
Ah, yes.
Very possible the Fighter's Ring could be in one of those.
That is true, and we do know that we have quite a few keys still left, as we only found the one key inside of the Tantagel Treasury.
So you're looking
I would say, why not?
You're looking, I mean, even if you search the 6 in the Treasury and don't bother with the vanilla, you're looking at a 2 out of 3 chance that it's down there, but there's also, of those 9 remaining chests, there's a 22% chance that it's in the grave.
Yep. I think I would go for grabbing the ring here anyways. Already at 101 MP, and he just did the fight with over 96. So, yeah, you can't be feeling too confident that this run's even going to be too terribly successful. Why not just take a stab at the treasury down here and see if you can find that fighter's ring? Might help for the next run after.
Probably because they're both looking at the clock, realizing that they're closing in on the 2-hour mark, and given how the seed is gone and how they're both at level 18, they're thinking, oh man, that dot done could be coming any second now. So they don't want to necessarily waste those 45 to 60 seconds to go into the treasury and take those 6 chests to see if possibly the fighter's ring is in there. It's one of those risk-reward things, and that's the challenge of this blind race, in that you don't know how far along your opponent is. So for all you know, you could be behind or you could be ahead.
Yep, very true. With the MP levels as they are now for HighSpirits, you can't feel good about this Dragon Lord 2 fight at all. You're at lower MP, you're out of herbs, so you're only going to have the HP that you heal off as you walk to the Dragon Lord. You know, can't be feeling too good about that, so why not check the treasury at this point? But he's going to elect not to and head for the Dragon Lord once again.
And now getting slept by the wizard, who also casts Hurt more. And yeah, with 87, having fewer resources than before and knowing how much more it is.
Up to NG, maybe he'll grind on the wizard. I don't think so, as they have sleep and hurt more and aren't worth a terribly great amount of EXP either. Strictly inferior to just wiping it up here and heading straight back to the Golem Den.
Epic Finger Paint, here's something of note. With Dragon Lord 2, you cannot miss attacking him, but you also cannot crit him. So all you can do is attack, or if a spell happens to hit. So, I mean, the only thing as far as a crit, quote-unquote, would be if he was able to cast hurt more and have it hit, but I believe that, as noted in chat, the hurt more resistance is always 15 out of 16, so you have about a 7% chance, a 6 to 7% chance of hitting a hurt more on Dragon Lord 2. So
and we finally see Dragon Lord 1 back attacking HighSpirits and putting him to sleep before throwing some hurtful words at him.
So HighSpirits going to give it a go, and he's getting some decent rolls here. He's up to 45. But now 7 heal mores left. Oh, another low roll of 10.
What's the damage at right now?
With that 16, he is up to 83.
Yeah, see, this is the point where I would love to see HighSpirits just realize that this fight is a loss without 1 to 2 YOLO Hurtmores landing and just take that MP for the grind on those golems.
He's up to 109 with 3 heal mores left. He gets a big 18 there. That's the max he can hit for on this run. But another low roll of 10. He's at 137. One more heal more left. Gets another 12. He's up to 149. Might get up to the 170s here at most. Oh, he's going to try for a YOLO sleep.
And up to NG asking who's going to 19 first. I was hoping that it would have been HighSpirits here, but yeah, just electing to try to push through that fight, not really the correct option. Gets a consolation golem for his trouble.
Now he's going to presumably replenish the resources. But again, he doesn't know how far it is. He's just fighting his way to get to the town to be able to recoup everything. And at this point, the target number to get to level 19 is 19,664. Janus is aware of that. HighSpirits is not, as putting the death necklace on and cursing him, the king automatically kicks him out of Tanagil Castle before letting him know that pertinent information. So he's going to swat at some enemies as he goes along. He's already closing in on 18,000. He's got maybe another 1,700 to go, but his plan right now is to recoup the herbs, get rested at the inn, recover that whole HP and MP, and perhaps give it another go, or maybe grind. We'll find out in mere moments as Janus struggling with the skeleton on the 7th basement of Sharlock.
Yeah, I have to hope that HighSpirits decides to grind here, as he's made it down to the Dragon Lord with, I think, 8 MP, enough for 12 heal mores. That wasn't good enough, and that's not very much of an MP buffer right now, from full to having the best run we've seen on the dive so far. I feel like going to 19 is gotta be in the back of his mind. Yeah, you don't know how much it is, but you've had so many unsuccessful attempts, and Sharlock is just proving to not let you get down there with all 111 of your MP.
Now that he's got all the resources, he's opting to run from everything, as HighSpirits is just under 1,500 experience away from level 19.
Oh, and
Janus is putting on the death necklace. Going to try to use the additional 10 attack power.
is not the position you ever want to be in to put the death necklace on with only 26 MP. Maybe he's not fully aware that he's going to just get kicked right out of the castle from now on. So he's going to have to realize that he has to safely walk his way to Rimeldar or Cantlin in order to heal up.
What he also may not be aware of, he didn't have, I mean, this is about how many MP he had when he took on the Dragon Lord the first time. Maybe he was hoping to squeeze in and thinking that the Dragon Lord may only have 100, maybe 110 hit points. He's maybe thinking, throw the Death Necklace on, get that at 10 additional attack power, try to squeeze in 6 or 7 attacks, try to get some high rolls, maybe get right around that bare minimum 100. And perhaps desperation is kicking in as well, as we're 2 hours and 1 minute into this seed. And he knows how good of a player HighSpirits is, so perhaps this was just a desperation, let's try to get something. And no, he hits the reset button.
All right, how much EXP did he lose from that reset?
Give or take about 1,000.
Okay, not too much. HighSpirits so far with some decent luck getting pretty good way into Sherlock with all of his MP left, but the Guardian of the Seed so far, the Drakey, showing up to tax HighSpirits resources a little bit more.
And ETAP noting in chat that the amount of experience for HighSpirits to get to level 19 is now down to just under 1,300. It's at 1,263 at the moment.
And now you start wondering if the back of HighSpirits' mind with the EXPs gained along the way might be, how close am I to 19? Should this run not succeed?
Well, Janus has that information. HighSpirits does not. That is the difference. Janus is not bothering with it. He's going to go back in.
When you have gained as much EXP without a level as HighSpirits has, you got to be feeling like you might be starting to get a little bit close to that level up, and it might be tempting to go for it after another failed dive.
And Skunk Rocker asking a question in chat, and chat responding in droves.
Jake Hooper, yes, HighSpirits has not acquired a shield, as Janus, when HighSpirits was grinding a little bit earlier and making another dive, elected to do a ghetto gold grind with the Tantagel Treasury, having 1 big bucks chest and 1 magic key to get the 6,000 required for the silver shield.
Yeah, the small and large shield both over 10,000 gold. Not nearly worth it. And Autoshy, the target number of experience to get to level 19, the total is going to be 19,664. HighSpirits is just over 1,000 experience away. He's 1,020 experience away. And pause noting that literally the definition of insanity, going to Sherlock over and over again without grinding and expecting a different result.
Yep, I mean, the only different result you could expect is if you actually manage to get down there with all of your MP. HighSpirits has gotten down there with 12 heal mores. At maximum MP, he has 1 or 2 more than that. And I guess he just wants to get down there and, you know, see if he can make it down with all 111 and give Dragon Lord a real stab.
This is certainly testing the mettle of both our players. Certainly worthy of this being a quarter-final matchup here in our Dragon Warrior Randomizer Chaos Tournament. We're in the bracket seeds. This is the 3-seed Janus against the 6-seed HighSpirits. And for those who may have missed earlier, yes, Janus took an early lead, especially in experience, getting up to level 14 before the hour mark. And it took maybe about 20 minutes more than that for HighSpirits to get into those upper levels. But once Janus started in the exploration, HighSpirits had found, actually they'd pretty much evened up at one point as HighSpirits was able to maximize enemies such as the Golem as well as the Demon Knight that were giving over 200 experience apiece, and was able to catch up in experience. And it was around the 1 hour and 10-minute mark when both of them pretty much had everything wrapped up in terms of getting Erdrick's armor, although Janus did have a little bit more trouble fighting, of all things, a Drakey, which now getting a little revenge there and an excellent move, one of those Kaishin no Ichigekis, to critical hit the Drakey for 110 hit points. But it was around that point that HighSpirits had cast Repel in an area that had Magiwyverns that gave 102 experience, as well as those Golems that gave 243 and were easily one-shottable. And next thing you know, HighSpirits went from about a 2,000 experience deficit to about a 5,000 experience lead in roughly 10 to 15 minutes. And now Scorpion's giving HighSpirits some trouble, and Drakey's being meddlesome on Janus's side. But able to take out a Drakey. A pretty good amount of generous enemies in this seed, as I count here 6 different enemies that have at least 200 experience. The Golems, the Knights, the Demon Knights, the Wolves, the Scorpions, and the Drakeys all giving 200 plus experience.
Yep, and as Sukiya notes in chat, too much MP burned by Janus. Yep, at level 18 right now, if you're not making it down to the Dragon Lord with all of your MP, you are not going to succeed the fight, as you only get one more heal more on full MP than you do comparative to the run that HighSpirits did hit for 197. And that's wishful thinking to get down there with all your MP at this point. Not with these Drakeys, Wraith Knights, just being as trolly as they are.
HighSpirits just a couple enemies away from level 19. He's 321 experience away. So he theoretically, depending on what enemy he has, he could incidentally hit that level, and if there's a nice boost, then that could be the difference that puts HighSpirits over the top. But will he get there? He opts to bypass the treasury once again. He's got a metal scorpion that he runs away from. Janus also on the bottom floor. But with fewer resources, only 72 MP. That's just 9 castings of heal more. Now 8 as he uses a sleep. Janus spending a lot of those magic resources, and as up to NG noting in chat, struggling to hold on to his MP on the dive. And HighSpirits having to burn a heal more thanks to the Star Wyvern. And now we have the Wizard blockading and running away once again. He's going to put on the Death Necklace again.
He's got a lot more MP remaining this time with the Death Necklace. It's just gonna suck to see him lose 1600 EXP if he dies here, which, as we know, should end up being the case.
Oh, and this Star Wyvern on HighSpirits side being troublesome, and a back attack on Janus. Well, we'll see here. He hits for 13, and 16 already up to 29.
Earlier in this Star Wyvern fight for HighSpirits, he was at 10 HP and stopped to think for a second. I think in his mind we might be starting to see the gears turn, that he might want to actually take a bad run, given that he has really good information on the Dragon Lord's HP, and take some of that MP out with him to finish the grind, which if he does, he'll find out in just a couple enemies, he'll be getting level 19. And Amazing Ampharos' frustration showing through from the outside. Yeah, I agree. I feel like if you get down to this floor with not 100% MP, or if you take a bad encounter down here and lose multiple heal mores, you just gotta go to the treasury and get it over with.
I lost track of Janus's count. He's got to be over the 100 HP mark, but not anywhere close to the 197 that we already saw. So if nothing else, this gives him more knowledge of, oh, all right, this is a very potent Dragon Lord 2 in terms of hit points that's going to require more resources. I mean, at this point, throw up the YOLO hurt more. You've got 5 MP, but the opt's not to, and...
Yep, if you're gonna die there, you just always throw the hurt more. There's no reason swinging. Though, as AA points out, Janus doesn't know exactly how bulky Dragon Lord 2 is quite yet. And we will see Janus surrendering that 1600 EXP again.
Yeah, taking actually pretty close to the mark there. Yeah, 1,597 experience lost by hitting that reset button did Janus do there. As we're 2 hours and 13 minutes into this seed, and HighSpirits now down to 35 MP. He takes out a Star Wyvern and realizes, nope, we're going to cast outside and go from there. And Janus is back into the grind spot. HighSpirits kicked out of Tanagel Castle again. Or at least after casting Return, getting about as far as it. And is going to go back to that grind spot with just those 19 MP.
But that's good enough for 8 repels, and as we know, he's not going to need 8 to get level 19.
He just needs one enemy at this point. And he does it, and at 2 hours and 14 minutes, HighSpirits is going to get to level 19 with 5 power, 1 response speed, 1 hit point, 12 MP.
That's 2 more heal mores.
I mean, if nothing else, I mean, that 5 additional attack, it certainly increases the range, and that 12 MP, that will add just that little bit more in terms of another potential heal more. McGrew noting in chat that it should be enough.
As long as he can get to the bottom floor with that MP, it should be fine. Either way, he's pretty much going to get just about a free dive here on 19, while Janus works his way up to 19 as well. As Janus is clearly not aware of the randomizer functionality of Repel and is unfortunately running into Magidrakies and the like that you don't really want to see here.
I believe this, as noted in chat, that I believe puts his attack up to 142, so that would be an attack range of 10 to 21 on Dragon Lord 2. So you're going to have double digits on every attack.
And notable is that 142 is exactly the kind of range where you might want to look for that fighter's ring that we've been going on about for a while on all these failed dives that have gotten down to the last floor of Sharlock with strictly not enough MP to actually finish the job, and yet nobody has checked Treasury for that ring.
Well, I think the way that they are looking at how this seed has gone, they're pretty much thinking, all right, even if I check the Treasury, knowing my luck, it's going to either have the fighter's ring in the vanilla spot, which is a bit of a hike away in Sharlock, or it might be in Garen's grave, which neither player has gone down and looked into. And the chat overall seeming to get their WrestleMania hype on early, with references of Rusev Day.
Of course, just a couple more weeks to go.
Yeah, 19 days away from, well, that's a whole nother story. We'll save that promotion. You can check out if you give me a follow on Twitch here. While I don't do a whole lot of streaming, I also do some legit radio work, and I do have a wrestling radio talk show on there, so you can check that out, and that's as much of the shameless self-promoting that I'll do regarding that.
Yeah, and Lord knows I don't think WrestleMania needs any extra promotion. I'm pretty sure Vince has got that wrapped up.
I'm not talking about WrestleMania. I'm talking about my show.
No, I meant in reference to your comment earlier.
Yeah,
right before
no.
the shameless plug.
Yeah, no, the hype is definitely there.
So far, though, HighSpirits having a good run, has all of his MP. This is pretty much the requisites that you need to win this race right now.
Oh, Ron Garion, I do appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. As HighSpirits now quickly up to over 21,000 experience. Now, we knew, thanks to Janus, how much it took to get to level 19, but now... Wow, but now we don't know, thanks to the death necklace that HighSpirits has worn for close to the past hour now. He has not been able to find out how much more experience it takes to get to level 20.
There it is.
And look at that. Here it is at 21,506.
Not much to write home about. A little bit of extra defense to help make up for the lack of shield. And enough strength to basically emulate the fighter's ring.
Another 6 MP that would be more so of an issue if the run ends up coming back here.
Yep, as that will be one more heal more then, with 129 being good enough for that extra heal more, which will be number 16 on a full stock of MP.
So yeah, the 10 agility is super helpful, and yeah, that 2 power, so now you're looking at 144 attack. So that ends up being a range of 11 to 22 on the Dragon Lord. So we had no way of knowing what it took to get to level 20. It just so happened, as I said it, HighSpirits hit it.
commentator's blessing, maybe?
Commentator's credit, maybe? I don't know. That at least works with the alliteration. I try not to throw those curses out there, although if I do, I will own up to it. As HighSpirits now is down to the 7th baseman of Sherlock, and Janus has hit level 19.
Will we see Janus go check what the requirement for 20 it was, even though we do see HighSpirits having acquired it along the way? And Coogan asking if this is a trolley seed or if this is average. This is a bit on the trolley side. Average, you usually have maybe like right around the 2-hour mark, maybe just a little bit before for most times to finish. This requiring level 20 or level 19 to presumably finish the race. And having some pretty good Guardians still in Sherlock, even with the additional stats that you gained at 20, possibly still putting a damper on your efforts.
So 21,479 was the number to level 20.
I don't think it's that the enemy didn't exist. We saw neither runner check the other continent or the back half of swamp if it is on the same continent, just like mountain blocked. So that's probably where the Blue Dragons actually decided to make their home this seed.
Well, there was, I believe it was HighSpirits did some exploration of the very continent. But yeah, it is possible that the enemies can generate in a zone that isn't inhabitable by our players, perhaps on an island that is all to itself. So that's why you may not be able to see it. And to tie-dye guy, yes, this race is still going. It has been a very difficult Dragon Lord battle, as we have determined that it has at least 198 hit points. No sleeper heal that we've seen, but there have also been some trolley enemies throughout Sherlock. It has been the equalizer. But
and HighSpirits, once again, is officially a fool.
And he one-shots Dragon Lord 1. And here we go. So 15 on the first go. And another 18, so he's up to 33 already. And another 16, so some pretty good rolls early on. Another double attack that gets 18, so he's already up to 67. Oh, and 19. He's up to 86. Oh, and there's a 21 for him. That gets him up to 107. Still with quite a few heal mores as well. That one a bit on the low side of 13. He's up to 138. $15 puts him up to 153, and another 13. 166, getting pretty close to the territory he was at, with still quite a few MP remaining, a few castings of heal more. Another 15, that gets him to 181. $17, this puts him at 198. So now any attack could be the final one. As he hits him for 21, it's still not enough. Puts him up to 219. So this next one you would think has to do it. And with 18, it does, as that gets him to 237. And HighSpirits is going to pull off the upset here almost 2.5 hours into this race. Ladies and gentlemen, get out your GGs for HighSpirits, who is going to finish this race with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 25 minutes, and 39 seconds. He is going to advance to the semifinals, the Red Dragon round. So HighSpirits with the victory as the 6th seed, an upset here, a little bit of a bracket buster. And now he will go on to take on the winner of McGrew and the Tie-Dye Guy, the 2 seed and 7 seed matchup. And that you'll be able to see here among the Randomania networks tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern, just some 22 hours from now.
Okay, how much health did this thing have? I counted at least 220.
That is what we have confirmation of. We are awaiting McGrew's response to the actual HP of Dragonlord.
That basement was terrible. Oh my goodness. Nothing you could run from, nothing you could put to sleep easy.
Yeah, Drakey's just being the absolute monster of the seed. Both guarding the armor and then also harassing you guys up and down Sharlock for better part of an hour now. McGrew confirming that DL2 had 221.
At least he didn't have heal or sleep. You know, I only had trouble with one Drakey every, like, all, 4 dives that I made. I only had trouble with one Drakey. It was something different every time. The first time it was the Axe Knights. The second time it was the Star Wyverns. The third time it was the skeletons that just randomly started appearing out of nowhere and not let me run. And then fourth time it was everything, I think. I don't know. I lost count on how many dives that was. But man, level 20 was it.
Trolling.
Man, that level 20 was the key because I was demolishing him that last attempt.
Yes, you were. And I think a question from at least myself and most of the chat, during some of the unsuccessful dives, your first or second dive, you got down there with 12 heal mores, got in a good 197 on Dragonlord 2, realized that wasn't enough when you wiped, and then you did a little bit of like a half grind, gave up on the grind, and started diving again.
You know,
And we were wondering why, when you got down to the last floor with, you know, maybe 80 or 60 or 90 MP, which pretty openly looked like not enough to finish, if you were thinking of maybe just wiping out early so that you'd have the MP for the repel for that grind spot.
well, my first thought was when I got down there and started getting demolished was, okay, hurt more. Time to go for the Hail Mary hurt mores. And then I got into that Star Wyvern counter that drained like 30 more magic. And I'm like, okay, how much experience does this thing have? And then it didn't give me any. I'm like, okay, I'm out of here. I'm just going to grind until I get a level. Because I had no idea how much I needed to level. I was death necklaced. So I was level, what, 17 at 6,000 experience. Next thing I know, I'm level 18 at, or level 18 at 20,000.
Yeah, it was definitely a large gap, and we were just neither you or Janus checked the treasury for the fighters ring, and we were just kind of wondering why you weren't just getting out of there with the MP when you weren't going to be able to finish the Dragon Lord, just so you could guarantee that EXP grind, because you had a fantastic grind spot this seed.
Yeah, I didn't you only need 2 magic for repel, and I found the god grind spot, just repel, and the only thing you get is 100 experience point or 234 experience point monster. So it was you didn't need much magic to repel. I was trying a couple different things because nothing was working at the beginning of the seed and nothing was working at the end of the seed. Has Janus had a chance to see how much health this Dragon Lord has yet?
I don't know that he's gotten 197 in like you did on your one attempt.
Oh, it wasn't. I never went to the bottom of the grave, so I didn't. I had more options to where the fighter's ring could be, but I never thought about.
Neither of you actually visited the bottom of the grave at all. So there were 9 chests remaining that could have had the fighter's ring. McGrew confirming that it was indeed in the treasury.
Yeah, I was actually talking with Janus in the race channel about never forget that no race is done, because a lot of the comes down to the grind, and if you find the grind spot, you can make up a 6,500 experience point lead like Tristal had, and it sounds like from chat that I made up a little bit from the grind too.
Yeah, it was I think close to 5K.
Yeah, I just couldn't get started. It took me, what, 25 minutes to get my first kill?
29, and that was about 12 minutes behind Janus.
Yeah, I knew, and I was trying everything. I was like, I found a town early, and I couldn't get back to it to save my life. And I tried grinding in all kinds of spots. I think I counted 6 werewolves in a row at one point, so I was getting kind of frustrated there, because I literally wasn't even seeing all the monsters in the area.
Yeah, and the big kicker obviously was that level 4 hurt more.
Oh yeah, once you get hurt more, it's free. I mean, once I got hurt, I was happy because I was able to start killing it more stuff. And once I got that one level, I got hurt and I just started rocketing up in levels.
Yeah, it looks like, as I'm pulling up the stats here, it was about a 12-minute differential between when Janus got his first level and when you got your first level. It was about 17 minutes for Janus as opposed to a little over 29 minutes for yourself. But then, I mean, you took off just as he did, and you closed the gap. And really, it was around that hour and 10-minute mark that you had found that grind spot. And after being down to maybe 3,000, as Janus now finishing up with the Dragon Lord, is going to be wrapping up and going to the castle in a moment here.
I think is he going to be short, or did he get it? Oh, he did.
No, he got it. He got it. He's heading to Tanagel now. He's going to finish up, get your GGs out for Janus, who did very well here, but falling just short, about 8 minutes shy, a little more than, with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 33 minutes, and 45 seconds. But it was at that point, both of you were pretty even in acquiring everything. You'd both gotten Erdrick's armor about 2 minutes apart from one another with that pesky Drakey in Hawk's Nest. But it was just a matter of you having that efficient grind spot. And I believe it was an early dive attempt by Janus that you were able to catch up from a 3,000 experience deficit, and at one point had a 5,000 experience lead.
I think the best thing that could have happened to me was not going back to the castle during that 8,500 or so experience I needed to level. Otherwise, I may have decided to start diving early instead of grinding it. I just kept doing it because I'm like, hey, this is a nice fast grind. And why am I not leveling? Wait, where's my level? Come on, where's my level? And I just kept going off the hope that the next fight was the level. And that's probably was the best thing for me.
Oh, you went with the Forrest Gump approach as far as running. Just gone this far, may as well just keep on going.
Yeah, and then that's where my half grind, that third attempt or whatever was, because I'm like, okay, I gained 1,000, 1,500, I've gained a bunch. I have to be close to a level, right? I can't talk to the king. I'm cursed, so we're just wing it and hope I get scorpions.
And that's what we were. I said that very same thing in chat. I probably thought, all right, he's probably got a set number of maybe 1,500 or 2,000 experience, and if he doesn't get a level by that, he's just going to go and hope to pick it up along the way. Which eventually you did, but it was another 2,000 after that, as you were around the 17,000 and change mark, and it was 19,664 to get to level 19. And then you were pretty close to 20 from there on in, and it was about 5 minutes later that you got that.
Yeah, I was able to get that just from fighting the skeleton or the scorpions on the way down. I mean, there was so much experience in this seed. There must have been at least five, if not more, monsters that I remember that had over 200 experience. I mean, and a lot of it you could kill pretty quickly.
There were 6 by my count: the Drakey, the Scorpion, the Wolf, the Golem, the Knight, and the Demon Knight. All had 200 plus experience.
Yeah, so plenty of experience. That's why I was kind of scared, because I knew Sharlock was garbage, but I knew there was so much experience out there that even Janus was going to find at least a decent grind spot. I was convinced he didn't have a grind spot as good as mine, because I'm like, yeah, I found the jackpot. All I had to do is cast Repel, and I got, oodles of experience. But I just wasn't sure, like, because the level started slowing down. Then the doubt creeps in, like, did he dive and level early? Am I sitting here grinding 8,500 experience for nothing?
Well, that was something that we noted here on commentary, that you definitely had the pristine grind spot, and Janus had eventually found it, but he wasn't aware of that knowledge of casting Repel, as Repel works toward the vanilla statistics of the game. So in casting that, you were able to encounter pretty much the Magiwyverns and the Golems that were giving 102 and 243 experience respectively, whereas Janus was grinding the exact same spot that you were at one point, but he was also encountering the Magidrakies that only gave 79 experience. So it was just that little difference in efficiency that was one of the numerous factors here in this race.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I regret was not getting the Silver Shield. I almost did, like, at the end of the grind, because those monsters I was fighting did not give gold. I had, after grinding, the probably 10,000 to 12,000 experience I did there, I had 3,000 gold, and I needed 6,000 for the shield. And I'm like, do I want a ghetto gold grind? I don't know. I got a decent agility. I guess I'll go for it. And once I died, the ghetto gold grind was gone, unless I wanted to go to Garringham. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to keep bashing my head against the wall. And that's probably the one thing I regret, is not getting the silver shield.
Yeah, for all the experience that those enemies that I mentioned gave, the Magiwyverns only gave 53 gold, and the Golems only giving 7. So they that definitely wasn't going to get you to that 6,000 experience anytime soon, unless you felt like killing 1,000 of them. But that wasn't about to happen.
I was close, but they're
1,000
running
gold.
away. I was just like, please, just give me like 50 more gold, and like just give me 50 gold per golem instead of 7, and then I would have definitely done it. But yeah, I didn't want to grind 3,000. Not after it took so long to level, and taking so long to level just makes you feel behind.
Well, McGrew noting in chat, and this is something that we're always learning something new with this Dragon Warrior randomizer, that along with the weapon and armor prices being randomized, so too, if you opted to sell and reacquire the Erdrick sword, it actually sold for 7,000 gold. So theoretically, you could have gone to a town, purchased the flame sword for 5 gold, having the shopkeeper buy back your Erdrick sword for about 7,000, and then just go back into Rimmildar and repick up the Erdrick sword, and that would have given you your shield right there.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that, because I know in regular randomizer it sells for 1, I believe. So I didn't actually know he changed
armor
it.
works the same way. So you could theoretically sell the armor for whatever it would cost, and because in Chaos it's randomized, you don't know. It could sell for 1 gold, it could sell for 50, it could sell for 500, it could sell for 5,000. You don't know.
Hey, learn something new. Might be able to take that into the next match coming up.
And how interesting that would be if it ends up being you against McGrew. Now that's one less advantage that he may have. That'll be the next, or it could be against the tie-dye guy who's also tuning in chat. So that'll be our next matchup coming up tomorrow night. It'll be the tie-dye guy, the 7 seed, against the 2 seed McGrew. And then over on the other side of the bracket, we have the top seed Amazing Ampharos against the 9 seed Tristal, who pulled off the upset against my commentating partner here last evening. And also on the other side of the bracket, we have Angry Larry against Ryu. That is the 4-5 matchup. So those will all be coming your way over the course of the next, well, 3 of those will be over the course of the next couple of days. And then the final race will be sometime, I believe, after the Randomania tournament, which, or Randomania Marathon, I should say, which that actually is a good time as any to bring that up, as we bring it up here in chat as well. The Randomania Marathon, that's going to be starting this Friday, the 23rd of March, all the way through Saturday, March 31st. It's the Randomania Marathon, a whole week, roughly 170 straight hours of randomized games, including Secret of Mana, Mega Man, Super Mario Brothers, Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy, Dragon Warrior, The Legend of Zelda, and a whole bunch more. The full schedule is there in chat, hararo.org/randomania/2018. Definitely something to check out. And once the marathon is over, we'll continue with the remainder of the tournament as we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here.
And I wonder if McGrew is up for a big swamp, or should we like pass it up since this match actually, if that's assuming if,
Yeah, I was gonna say the tie-dye guy might have.
Oh yeah, the tie-dye guy can do it easy. This is chaos. Everyone can win on any given Sunday.
Or Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever night you're going to be facing.
It is technically Wednesday, this match between the tie-dye guy and McGrew, so it's any given Wednesday.
Any given Wednesday, indeed. So the possibilities are certainly up there. And McGrew saying he would do Big Swamp again. Now, for those not as familiar with Dragon Warrior Randomizer, there is a Big Swamp option where 75% of the overworld map are those swamp spaces where each step takes away 2 hit points. So
Big Swamp.
Yeah, that was something that was contested between HighSpirits and McGrew in the 3rd round of the Swiss format of the tournament that we had leading into this here. And McGrew ended up taking that victory over HighSpirits in that particular match, giving HighSpirits his only loss of the tournament. So should McGrew go on, that could be a revenge match for HighSpirits. We'll have to see.
Or a match against the guy that took me like 3 weeks to figure out how to say his name.
Or there is that as well. And also, yes, as it is noted on, thank you for the Randroid on that. Tune into the Randomania networks over the next couple of days for also the Super Mario Land 2 Randomizer League, the Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer League, and the continuation of the Pokemon Crystal Cinco Bingo Tournament. So a lot of fun things coming your way here. I believe that's going to just about do things for us here. I'm not hearing any word from Janus.
He probably has to get to bed soon
Yeah, I was going to
work.
say, it's getting late early here, as Yogi Berra used to say. So with that, any final thoughts here, Azriel?
No, GG. Well played. That was quite the seed to watch. And going to be a good matchup no matter what coming up for HighSpirits, with either a rematch with McGrew or a matchup with the tie-dye guy.
Yes, and also of note, want to give thanks behind the scenes as he's waving here to OPT Lawyer, our restreamer and tracker for the race here, doing double duty. Make sure to give him a follow, as well as our 2 runners, JanusZeal 6 and HighSpirits, as well as my commentating partner, Azrael Ravenheart. And I suppose you can give me a follow as well. Still working on getting things active there, but more often than not, you'll hear my voices here among the one voice, that's right, my one voice, multiple networks here among the Randomania networks. You'll get the chance to hear me, Ferran Burgundy, on a few occasions. So for our runners, our restreamer, for Azrael Ravenheart, I'm Ferran Burgundy saying until next time, may your moves be excellent and your seeds stay classy. Good night, everyone.